Hello all, it's me again. It's been a while. Springtime is coming around and it's transitioning into summer. And y'all looking good on Facebook. I've been checking y'all out. Y'all looking nice and right, so I gotta keep up with y'all. But I hope that you guys like, comment, and share on this video here. The topic of today is teach kids how to have a voice. And I got my little notes so I can stay on point this time and not go off on my rants. So we need to start teaching our kids how to have a voice. And this video, I've been wanting to do this video for like a week now. I haven't mustered up the energy to do it, but I'm doing it now. And what sparked it was I was just, trolling online, and I saw apparently Africa Bambaataa, who is like, a hip hop legend. Apparently there's some child molestation allegations that happened, that are coming up to the forefront against him. And, the Zulu Nation they're like denouncing him, and it's just a hot mess. And so there's just like a few, several people that are coming up saying that they were molested by him in the 1980s. 14, 15-year-old boys. I gotta take a deep breath on that. That was tough for me to say. It's hard for me to hear stuff like that. It's hard for me to know in the process that kids grow up in environments where they are, terrorized in that way. It's really a tough situation. And damn, it just takes my energy out the fucking video, doesn't it? But it's a real situation. I'll tell you guys this thing. We got to teach our children how to have a voice, so that when if stuff happens like that to them, that at least they have a voice and a mindset, a foundation to go to their parents or to, like a coach or a teacher or, a trusted adult and say, I don't know that this is wrong, but this is happening to me. Because a lot of kids, in my opinion, or from what I gather, they don't really know that it was wrong of them to be touched by an adult, or you know what I'm saying, or an older, person without their consent, with or without their fucking consent. And so because they don't have the knowledge and the words and the verbiage and the experience and the understanding that it is wrong for them to go through that, or for someone to violate them in that way, we got to at least give them the tools, right? To do check-ins. You know what I'm saying? Like, give them the tools. And the tools are their voices, to empower them, to speak up for themselves, to say, hey mom, uncle did this to me, or hey dad, my mom's boyfriend or my mom's boyfriend's sister's, fiance, somebody that we just randomly know did this, or this is happening, or they're talking to me in this way. And so, we as parents got to, number one, teach our children how to have a voice so that they can tell us when that stuff is happening, or, give us the opportunity to stop it before it happens, right? Because it's usually like a grooming period that happens between the predator and the, and the prey, before they strike, right? And then two, we got to have conscious parenting as well. And that's pretty much what I do as a parent. A lot of you guys praise me, my parenting style. I think sometimes it's all over the place. I think it's too serious, and I think it's too not lackadaisical. Then I think sometimes I'm all over the place. Then I have to remember that I'm teaching my child how to have a voice for herself. Because in my own childhood, I didn't have a voice. I remember being a kid, and I had the nice little cushy lifestyle, don't get me wrong here. However, if some stuff like that happened to me, I wouldn't even have thought to say to anybody, hey, this is happening. I just would have just processed it and be like, oh, okay, that happened. And then I would have grew up to be 30, right? And then in therapy, or just, kind of, powwowing around with some of my 30-year-old colleagues or girlfriends, and that happened again too. that was what? I didn't know that was called molestation. I didn't know that what they were doing to me wasn't right. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I'm not a victim of child molestation. However, I'm just saying from my childhood, I did not have the voice to say if I was or not. Even if it did happen to me, I did not have the voice to tell somebody because I was not taught to have a voice, which is why I talk so much now as an adult. So which brings me to my next point, conscious parenting. Conscious parenting equals conscious children. We are in an age, in an era where, we're all about like our rights and we're all about like, protesting and being conscious and being mindful and, just being more self-aware. And so that has to translate down to our children, which is our next generation coming up. And what I mean by that, I'll give you a specific example, is that, like, for example, my daughter, I have a 9-year-old, she'll be 10 this month, and she was hanging out with her dad, and dad had some inappropriate things on his phone, and she found out, and, they had to have a conversation about it. And so, they had the conversation about it, which is one, I told her to have the conversation with her dad. Because she was pretty disappointed in the things that she saw, and I won't go into detail, I need to be more discreet when I do these videos, but I won't go into detail about what she saw, but it wasn't kid appropriate, just put it like that. And so I, encouraged her to tell her dad how she felt about seeing that inappropriate things in his, in his cell. And actually it wasn't his cell. It was like a household iPad thing, like where everybody uses it. And so she had the conversation with him. It didn't go well. He was sad and, she was sad. And so that in turn turned into another conversation. And I let her know, she's crying. I picked her from school and she's crying about it. She told me what happened between, that dad was sad that she had to have a conversation like that with him. And I said, your dad is a grown ass man. Your dad, can handle those feelings. I don't ever want you to feel sad or any type of way about an adult's feelings, because that's manipulation, for one, on the adult's part. For two, that's putting you in an adult's mind, and you are a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of dynamics going on anytime you teach your kid how to have their own voice, because there's always that backlash that, well, the parent may, try to like come back at me with some crap, or, the parent may feel sad, or the parent may feel angry, or the parent may want to retaliate, or the parent may feel justified in being a parent. I'm the parent. You're the child. I'm the parent. Don't you dare tell me what to do. Blah, blah, blah. Knock it off. If you're the parent and you are still a human being, which 9 times out of 10 you are, okay? 10 times out of 10, some of y'all don't act like human beings. But anyways, you deserve to be corrected at all times. If you are not being the greatest parent and you're not showing up for your child and the child corrects you, humble yourself, like Kendrick Lamar said. Be humble and be accepting and receptive of what the child is trying to tell you, because number one, that's your seed. That's the direct lineage to you, a direct bloodline. So that's your bloodline telling you that you effed up. So you got to get your ego out the way and let the child nurture and have a voice. Understand me? And then, let me gather my train of thought again. So she was sad about that. So I let her know, don't be sad about how your dad feels about you telling him how you feel. Are you kidding me? Your daddy, that ain't the first time your daddy done been sad in his, 5 decades of being here. He 50 years old, and it ain't gonna be his last time being sad. He can handle the sadness. And the same thing goes for mommy. Mommy's been, sad before. I've been angry, upset, depressed, anxious, all this stuff. Happy, I can handle it. I said, but with you could be sad about that the situation happened, but do never take responsibility for anybody else's emotions. especially your parents. I said, because them is the two biggest, baddest wolves in the whole entire universe, is your parents, or the people that raised you. The people that had a hand on raising you. If you could stand up to them and tell them your truth, and I'm saying be respectful about it. Don't just go off and go crazy and be cursing and all that stuff. Be respectful about it, but hold your truth. And say your piece. And if you could stand up to the biggest, baddest wolves on the planet of the universe, then you can stand up to anybody, little girl. And so I told her I was proud of her for letting her dad know how she felt. I let her know, you know, that mommy got your back, that if there's anything that I'm doing wrong, because I'm not a perfect person. So that's what's wrong with us, is that we used to walk around here trying to think we perfect all the time, that our kids, how dare our kids tell us that we ain't a perfect parent when we paying all the bills and we doing all of this and we doing all of this for them, and we raised them, and I took you in this world, I could take you out, or I brought you in this world, I could take you out. Like, all that's cool to a certain extent when we talking about like household, you know, stuff and just the day in and day out of stuff. But when you have a parenting teachable moment like that one, like my daughter just breaking down in the middle of our car ride home, you know what I'm saying? Because her dad was sad about her telling him how she felt. Oh, you got to stop, drop, and roll on that one, and let time stop and be a conscious parent and teach your kid to have a voice. I know this video went a little bit longer than what Facebook normally should be, whatever. I really don't care. I want to know how you guys feel about that. I think that if we continue, you know, to be conscious ourselves and to teach our children how to be conscious and how to, you know, because we could be bullies as parents. I think so. I know I can be a bully sometimes and throw my weight around, and I got to let my child know, you know, I'm going to throw my weight around when it's right, when you're not handling your business. But if you ever see mommy not handling her business, you can check your mommy. You can let your mommy know. Like, mommy, you're not acting right. You being the bad mommy right now, or whatever. You know, like, we got to teach our children how to have a voice, because if we don't, then I don't know, they'll just freaking, stuff will happen to them, like molestation, and just to bring it back to what I was talking about earlier, and it would be devastating to them, and then they'll be angry inside, you know? That's why a lot of us walk around angry and pissed off in our freaking 30s and 40s and our late 20s, is because we didn't have a voice, and things happen to us as kids and we didn't have no voice. We didn't have any way. First of all, we didn't even have the fucking vocabulary, okay? Because we don't even know what the hell is going on with us. Second of all, most of our parents didn't even train us, you know, because they didn't have a voice. So they didn't have a voice. So now they trained us to not have a voice. So now we're going through the aftermath of their bullshit, because our grandparents, their parents didn't teach them to have a voice. You know, the cycle ends with us. Bottom line. 13 minutes into this video, the fucking cycle ends with us. So if y'all need to get on board. You know, I'm on board. I know a lot of parents that are on board. You know, we all need to get on board. That's why this video needs to be shared, because, you know, people need to understand that they're not the only ones on the planet going through it. You know, I hope a kid sees this, and I hope that they find their voice, knowing that it's okay for you to have a voice and for you to tell somebody, you know, a trusted adult, what's going on. And then if they don't do anything, if they don't take you seriously, you keep telling somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like domestic violence. Like when people like are in like an abusive relationship, like the first thing they do is isolate. The abuser isolates, you know, the abusee. And it just kind of just keeps them like away from everybody. They take away their voice. Like, how damaging is that to a human being? I couldn't imagine that. So I'm teaching my daughter how to have a voice, even a voice against the biggest, baddest wolf on the planet, me. Y'all let me know what you think about this video. I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope that, you know, you guys all have a lovely summer. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Don't do drugs. Don't use a condom. No STDs. Pay your bills on time. Like, share, comment. Okay, until next time.